Shalom, beautiful family. All praises to the Most High Power, the great I am, loving kindness. All praises to the Holy Great One, the power of Israel. Family, remember who you are. Children of the kingdom, children of the celestial realm, divine diaspora, who manifest the gifts of the Holy Spirit, sent here by the Father of lights, the all-merciful Father, the great I am, loving kindness, to walk in direct relation with His power and to walk in direct relation with His glory. The Father did not send you here to do this alone. When you were in His presence in the kingdom of lights, you didn't need someone to lead you. The Father created you holy, wholesome, perfect. In His presence, you had that direct relationship. Your frequency was high and strong. You had that direct connection. You didn't need an intermediary. You didn't need a conduit. You didn't need a connect. You were in the presence of your Father in Eden. You were one with the Father, basking in the light of His glory, being taught from on high by your celestial mother, and also being taught by the Most High, and also being taught, learn from and learning with your celestial brethren and sisters. When the body was ready for you and you were thrown into confusion, you had forgotten who you are. Now it is necessary that the Father provide you with a way back to Himself, or else you will lose your way forever throughout your journey on this earth during your probationary period as a divine diaspora. You will never come to the realization of who you are as a son of light and as a daughter of light. You would always walk in and feeling that something is missing. No matter what you do, there's always something missing. You would always feel that void. Can no one or nothing could ever be able to fill the emptiness that you would feel while you're on this earth. The Father in His wisdom and in His love sent Himself on the earth as a man to direct you, to order your steps, to show you, to guide you, to teach you the way back to Himself in the spirit realm. Because as a man, He would be just like you. He would be tempted with all temptations. He would be faced with adversities just like you. He would smile and laugh just like you. He would be angry just like you. He would get hungry and He would eat just like you. Thirsty, He would drink just like you. Moments He would feel depressed just like you. He would have run-ins with the hoods, with the thugs, with the prostitutes, just like you. He would be human just like you. He would bleed just like you. He would feel doubt just like you. He would have to do that, and he would have to walk in direct relation with the Father for him to be able to administer guidance unto you. He came to fulfill Jeshurun, the foundations of the laws of virtue, the foundations of the laws of the Most High. He came to be the perfect fulfillment of the laws of God, walking in holiness, living life in righteousness, and teaching others to do the same. He left a clear blueprint for you to follow. But of course, you have your free will. Of course, you have your free agency. This is not a dictatorship. You don't have to choose to follow the Most High. You don't have to choose to follow the Son and be led by Him. You can choose the plan of Satan if that's what you want to do. Satan was a son of heaven. He was light. He was well loved. He had great powers. He was a son of the morning, high cherubim, well respected, revered. But jealousy grew in his heart, and he wanted to be just like God. He wanted to be just like the supreme power. The hell with it. He said, I won't follow the guidances of the Most High in the heavens. I won't live with my brethren in harmony and in peace. I want my own kingdom. And Yahawashi says, I saw Satan falling like lightning, and he came on the earth as a meteorite. And ever since he hit the grounds, he started to sow seeds of hatred. He sown seeds of jealousy. He sown seeds of killings. Brother against brother, sister against sister, husband against wives, etc., etc. He has corrupted our way of lives because he wanted to be just like the Most High. But there can only be one supreme power. There cannot be two. The Lord thy God is one. Choose whom this day who you will follow. The Most High sent himself as a man in the flesh to guide you back to Eden, teaching you how to have a relationship with the Most High, teaching you how to love your brethren. Because if you were to be honest with yourself, you haven't loved in a long time. A lot of us are loveless. We have a love deficiency. Messiah says, follow me. Develop a relationship with the Most High power. Think about the Most High. Feel with Him. Because you were created to be the Most High's companion. You were created to walk with the Most High, just like the citizens of the great city of holiness in the city of Enoch. You were created to be God's companion. You were created to forgive each other often, not holding grudges, not letting the sun set on your anger. You are supposed to diffuse your situations. Let nothing pile up, file nothing away. Nothing is that serious anyway. No thieves, no robbers, no murderers, no whoremongers, none such shall inherit the kingdom of God. Who do you want to be today, beloved? Messiah says you have to love repentance. You gotta divorce yourself, walking away from the things that create a bridge between you and the Most High. You gotta separate the carnal man from the spiritual man. You gotta separate the flesh. You gotta sever the flesh from the spirit. The scripture says a man's enemies are those of his own household. You sink your own battleship, beloved. You use your free agency to do contrary to what the Father says you should be doing in order for you to get back into his presence. You use your free agency to do it, beloved. No one else but you. The kingdom is within. You are carried away by your own vices. Meanwhile, your elder, wiser brother is knocking on the chambers of your heart, standing there forever beckoning at your heart to let him in so he can come and sup with you and tabernacle with you. Messiah says, you have forgotten the way you used to worship me. Why? Why have you forgotten, beloved? Why do you lock yourself up in your kitchen and worship the Father there? Why won't you go into nature and take a walk and walk on the grass and worship him there also? You were created to be intertwined and interwoven with all creation. Everything that the Father creates, you are a part of it, and they are a part of you. No man is an island. No man is an island, beloved. You have forgotten the ways you used to worship me. Messiah came in the flesh. They said he came in a manger. He came in a lowly state. He was a son of a carpenter. What does that mean, beloved? Was Messiah the son of a carpenter? Who was he? We have covered who Messiah was several times. But in this book, Jesus, the master builder, Druid mysteries, and the dawn of Christianity, we're going to take out a deeper look. What does it mean to be a carpenter? Who was Messiah, the master builder? Page 141. Let's go. The Greek word that is translated carpenter is tekton. This has the basic meaning of one who scrapes, planes, hews, or builds. Tekton. The Greek word for carpenter is tekton, a person who scrapes, planes, hews, or builds. Words closely related to tekton are teknazo, which means to employ, contrive, use cunning or practice, or techne, which means a way, means, or manner whereby a thing is gained. It is an art system. It is a set of rules of making or doing. Another word that is related to teknon is teknima, a work of art or treatise. And a teknites is a skilled workman in some special area. So you have three words. You have teknazo, tekni, and teknima, a work of art or a treatise. And you also have a teknites, who is a skilled workman in some special area. So 4 words, such as war, religious practices, theatrical art, or trickery. This is the term used to describe God, who is the builder of the city which had foundations. Hebrews 11 and 10. Let's get that real quick before we move forward. Hebrews 11 and 10. For he was looking forward to the city that has foundations, whose designer and builder is God. That was talking about Abraham. Now, before I go on to the next page, Yahawashi came in a manger, we were told. He was a son of a carpenter. He himself grew up and he became a carpenter. What does that really mean? So let's look at the words. Tekton. Buchanan's reference to the link between Tekton, understood as builder, and Teknites, as used in the letter to the Hebrews, where Abraham looked forward to the city which has foundations. We just read that. Whose builder and maker is God, takes our inquiry to an altogether higher level. The link between Tekton, understood as builder, and Teknites, as used in the letter to the Hebrews, where Abraham looked forward to the city which has foundation, whose builder and maker is the Most High, takes our inquiry to an altogether higher level. He shows that the word can be used to describe the Most High's handiwork as well as man's. And that if we were to take this word Tekton literally and metaphorically and apply it to Yahawashi, we could assume and also we could imply a comparison between his human and divine activities. So they're telling us, if we take this word Tekton, and put that word in front of Yahawashi as a man in the flesh on the earth, and also apply that word to metaphorically to Yahawashi with his divine purpose, divine activities, we could assume and imply a comparison between his human and divine activities. If we put this word between Yahawashi as a man in the flesh and as a man full walking in his divinity, what would we see? If in fact, as Buchanan goes on to claim, Yahawashi was a builder who was not so much a laborer as someone who got things built, like a site manager, then his earthly profession would have been an exact opposite counterpart of his role as the one through whom God had created all things. Let that sink in real quick. Let's read that again. If in fact, as Buchanan goes on to claim, Jesus, Yahawashi, was a builder who was not so much a laborer as someone who got things built, like a site manager, then his earthly profession would have been an exact counterpart of his role as the one through whom God had created all things. What is a counterpart? A counterpart is a person or a thing holding a position or performing a function that corresponds to that of another person or thing in another place. Basically, Yahawashi is a builder, but not in the sense that we understand a builder. He's not building, he's not a builder like a site manager. He's not doing this type of work. Okay? He's actually a builder, he's playing another role as a builder. He's a builder, true, but not how we've been told, not what we believe. His earthly profession would have been an exact counterpart of his role as the one through whom God had created all things. Remember the word Tekton. The word Tekton, remember, it can be used to describe God's handiwork. So we're going to apply the word Tekton to Yahawashi and describe Yahawashi as the one God is using to describe his handiwork. Because Yahawashi is the one the Most High choose to play the role as the one to whom all things are created. His earthly profession would have been an exact counterpart of his role as the one through whom God had created all things. Remember, he is the one through whom the Most High has created all things. Before we move forward, let's get a precept for that. Let's go to John 1 and 3. John 1 and 3. This is John 1, verse 3, KJB. All things came into being through Yahawashi. And apart from Yahawashi, not even one thing came into being that has come into being. Tekton, builder. It is a word that can be used to describe God's handiwork. Yahawashi is a teknite. This word can be used to describe his divinity as a man in the flesh, and also as a son of the Most High, chosen by the Most High to create all things. The description of Yahawashi as a Tekton could therefore be seen as a code for master mason. He wasn't just a carpenter, no, he was a Tekton. He was a master mason, a builder of a sort. Through whom the Most High created all things. Describe, a word which is being described, which is being used to describe the Most High's handiwork. Tekton could therefore be seen as a code for master mason on earth. Yahawashi wasn't just a carpenter, he was a master mason. He was building for the Most High on earth. He wasn't building furniture for your bedroom. No, he was building men. He was building souls, building women. He was building and creating all things for the Father, showing the Father's handiwork. The description of Yahawashi as a Tekton could therefore be seen as code for master mason on earth, an architect. of the heavens. Yahawashi the Tekton or the Teknite. He was a master mason on earth and architect of the heavens. So when they tell you he was the son of a carpenter, what does that mean? What is the word for carpenter? What does carpenter really mean? If he was a master mason and if he was a builder, if he was a tekton, if he was an architect, what really is a carpenter? Let's keep going. Yahawashi is a master mason on earth and architect of the heavens. Tekton is a code word. Buchanan's conclusion that he had once been a businessman but later joined a sect and became a scholar would concur on the one hand with Jesus Vermes, asserting that carpenter stands for scholar in certain Talmudic sayings, and on the other hand, with the possibility that the gospel writers knew that Yahawashi had trained and worked as a master builder or architect. Hold up. Carpenter stands for scholar. So he wasn't a carpenter building furniture. No, he was a tekton. He was a master mason. He was an architect of the heavens, master mason on the earth. Tekton, a word used to describe God's handiwork. Yahawashi was a builder. Not as you believe, a builder is someone who's building things like a site manager. No. He was way more than that. He was the one the Most High chose to create all things. Remember, nothing was created that was not created by him. Not even one thing came into being that has come into being if it was not by him. Through Messiah, through Yahawashi, all things were made. Without Yahawashi, nothing was made that has been made. He is the Tekton. He is the Teknite. He is the master mason. He is the builder. Now, he's also the architect of the heavens. Now, he's also the carpenter. And what does that mean in certain Talmudic texts? He's a scholar. So the gospel writers knew that Yahawashi trained and worked as a master builder or a scholar or architect. Such knowledge would have been closely guarded a secret, just as it would in Masonic circles today. And I remember back in the days of Yahawashi, there was something that the ancients really revered. It's called discretion with the truth. That's why Yahawashi spoke in parables to everyone else. But to the disciples, he told them everything in plainness. Because he was being discreet with the truth. The gospel writers knew this. They knew he had trained and worked with the Druids, with the scholars among the Celts, and the Druids among the Gauls. They knew he had traveled to the east and studied with the monks. They knew he was looking into the Sumerian text. He was looking into the Chaldean text. He was looking into ancient texts. He was studying. He had knowledge. He trained and he worked as a master builder and architect. He worked as a Tekton and a scholar. They knew that. But the average folk didn't. Listen to this. Such knowledge would have been a closely guarded secret, just as it would in Masonic circles today. You know how secret combination, secret society, there are certain things that tell you can't really verbalize it to anyone else. You have to keep it a secret. So Yahawashi would have been understood to have been a carpenter, the son of a carpenter, by those who were satisfied with the simple message that the Son of God became a poor workman and a humble laborer. You know what I'm saying? So to those who were satisfied with the simple message that the Son of God became a poor workman and a humble laborer, they would understand him being a carpenter on a carnal level. Oh yeah, he's just a carpenter's son. He's a carpenter, not knowing all along a carpenter stands for a scholar, a well-read individual, well-studied in many different sciences, philosophy, archaeology, astronomy, geometry, mathematics. He knew different languages. He knows the solar calendars, the lunar calendars. Not knowing the carpenter really meant a scholar, because they were stuck in the fact that he came in as a carpenter's son. They were simple-minded, just like, Ezra saved the 70 for last, for the wise among them, because most people, they are comfortable with the simple. They never want to go deeper. To some of you, going to Stonehenge is just like me walking through rocks. It means nothing to y'all. But I have a lesson coming. You will never look at Stonehenge the same way again. You will never look at worshiping with the rocks of the earth who are alive the same way again. See, to the simple-minded, going through nature and sitting on a rock under a tree and worshiping the Most High, this could look spooky to them. They might say this is some kind of, voodoo or whatever. But to those that know what it means to really praise and get a connection and raise your frequency and your vibration, you would know that this is a much deeper thing going on. Such knowledge would have been closely guarded a secret. But those who were satisfied with the simple message that the Son of God became a poor workman and a humble laborer, they just thought he was just a carpenter, not knowing a Tekton is a builder, a scholar is a carpenter. You know what I'm saying to you? The Tekton of Nazareth is building. The scholar of Nazareth is building. The builder of Nazareth is building. Tekton. But those who knew how to interpret Tekton in its more profound meaning, Yahawashi would also have been understood to have been the earthly counterpart of the maker of the universe. For those in this secret society of the scholars, for those who didn't just satisfy with the simple explanation of a carpenter, they would have known. And for those who knew how to interpret Tekton, right? For those who knew how to go deeper and look up the word Tekton and knew what it meant, they would understood that Tekton is a more deeper, profound meaning. Tekton held a more deeper, profound meaning. He wasn't just a carpenter. No. He was the earthly counterpart of the maker of the universe. He was the earthly counterpart of the Most High. Most High in the heavens, Yahawashi on the earth. Remember, he sent himself as a man in the flesh. He was what the Most High was in the heavens, on the earth. He was the earthly counterpart of the maker of the universe. This is the conclusion of the matter. Yahawashi was he was trained as a carpenter, which is, he was trained as a scholar. He was trained as a builder, or he was trained as an architect. Yahawashi was trained as a scholar or carpenter. He was a trained builder or an architect. Behind this natural and outward fact, there lies a mystery. What is that mystery? Yahawashi, in his divine personality, was the builder of the eons. Hebrews 1 and 2. Let's go. But in these last days, he has spoken to us by his Son, whom he appointed heir of all things, and through whom also he made the universe. Yahawashi is the builder of the eons, and that the knowledge which he gave his church was the knowledge of those principles by which the worlds were made. The knowledge of loving the brethren, the knowledge of unconditional love for one another, the knowledge of loving God and learning to do his will is the same knowledge that all the worlds that were made have. That's the knowledge he gave his church. Same knowledge of the principles by which the worlds were made. Tekton, builder. Yahawashi was a builder, an architect of the heavens, a master mason on the earth. He was a carpenter, which was a scholar. He was the what? The creator of the eons, the builder of the eons. He wasn't just a carpenter. No, that was just to the simple ones. To the simple ones, he was just a son of a carpenter building furnitures. But to the scholars, to the ones who would go beyond what they see and what they're being presented, he was a tekton, teknite. He was way more than a carpenter. No, he was the architect of the universe. He was Messiah, the Prince of Righteousness. He was the bread of life. He was the Prince of Hosts. He was the creator of heaven and earth. He was King of Shabuah. He was the Lion of Judah. He was Emmanuel. He was the Son of Men. He was the Rose of Sharon. He was the Lily of the Valley. He is the Waymaker. He is the great healer. He is the great shepherd. He is the architect of our lives, the Tekton. He is the master mason. He is the builder. He is the bread of life. He is the son of Dawi, the son of David. He is the sap of the trees. He is the sweetness of the fruits. He is the perfume of the flowers. He is the bread of heaven. He is the shepherd of souls. He is the river of sweet waters. He is a comforter. He is a friend when you need one. He is your elder, wiser brother. He's not just a carpenter. He is way more than that. He is a scholar, a builder, an architect, a master mason. He was well studied, well versed. Yahawashi was the builder of the eons, through whom the Most High created all things, showing his glory to all men. Tekton, a builder. Let's go to the golden scripts. Number 15 and 16, page 119. Yahawashi speaks. Being great in my discernments, I delight in my service. Delighting in service, I am great in my discernments. Thus shall it be for every man. Every man comes into the sense of his godhood through his service to his brethren. How do you come into your godhood? Through you being a servant to your brothers and your sisters. Yahawashi says, I am great in my discernments. I delight in my service. Delighting in service, I am great in my discernments. Thus shall it be for you and I, beloved, that you come into the sense of your godhood by being of service to your brethren. I tell you this, he says, that the carpenter of Nazareth, the who? The scholar of Nazareth. The who? The Tekton of Nazareth. The who? The master mason of Nazareth. The who? The builder of Nazareth. The carpenter of Nazareth is building with what? He's building not with nails of iron. How is he building, Abdullah? With ropes of love. With ropes of love, which is what? Which is the same knowledge. Which is the same knowledge which he gave his church. The same knowledge of those principles by which the worlds were made. What knowledge is that? Love. The scholar, the builder, the master mason, the Tekton of Nazareth is building, not with nails of iron. He ain't building you a new armoire. He's not making you a bench. He's not building you some furniture for your home. No, he's building souls. He's building men. He's building women and children. He's building you for the kingdom of the Most High. And he's building you what? With ropes of love. Page 480. Same book, Golden Scripts. Number 15 through 21. Consider the ways of those who till the soil, even of humanity. What seed do they sow? Do they have knowledge of cosmic truth? Beloved, would you say that this is knowledge of cosmic truth? Consider those who till the soil. Have their knowledge of eternal principles? Do they have knowledge of ether and the manifestations of ether? Do they sow seeds of bitterness? Do they sow seeds of strife, of petty malfeasance and injurious attractions, one nation for the other? Are they walking in the fruits of the Spirit, or do they have a different type of fruit? Question those who come unto you. Ask of them their vision. Translate unto them the knowledge which you have, and observe their bickerings. When you have expressed yourselves, tell them what, go ahead, put them on. Tell them about the knowledge that you have and observe their bickerings. When you have expressed yourselves, is it not true that they will say, these are your concepts, Abdullah, these are your concepts. We have others equally as great. Yahawashi speaks. He says, no, my beloved, that they are the workers of confusions. They have not the vision. No, they have division. They have confusion. They have bifocal vision. They have two visions. They're not one. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. They have not the vision. They don't have the vision of the Most High. They have their own vision. When you explain yourself to them and give them the knowledge that you have, just fall back, be quiet, watch them bicker over it. Listen, they're going to tell you this. That's just your opinion. We got our own knowledge. No, my beloved, says Yahawashi. They are workers of confusions. They have not the vision. The vision says, all men are brethren. Only one truth is permitted to men. What is that? That all men shall love. Love. And love again. What is the truth permitted to all men? All men shall love. Love. And love again. Which is the same truth that Yahawashi gave to his church. The same knowledge that all worlds were made by Tekton. Tekton, a builder. Yahawashi was a Tektonite. He was a Tekton. He was a Teknite, a builder, a master mason, a carpenter, which is a scholar. He was the creator of heaven and earth. He was the earthly counterpart of the maker of the universe. Jesus, the master builder. Who was he, beloved? A Tekton. Shalom.